I'm volunteer. Yeah, I think we should have the president, both president.
And then so what we add to that is that he needs to add
I actually have no idea.
The way my days are all night.
yes.
What a waste of time.
Well, we're gonna do the health and safety plan first, and then we'll do the foundation right after that. And then we'll do.
Yeah, I have one out too, but I'm like, emails back and forth.
We'll add that to our regular meeting, so.
I know.
And that's right here.
I got the case.
Well, I need to so fast that I don't even need to mix down the food. You know what I mean, the next thing, and then it's like, I have to defend you on my thing, or it's gone.
Okay.
You know, someone will look and watch over here.
It was culinary arts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I need to put it on my list.
So I got a call from that, my desk, my keyboard, and something like that. I sit down and I'll check it out. Where do I start? And then I'm in the middle of typing an email, and you're going to send me this or I'll send this or. And your keyboard has. I was like.
And you're like, oh, I started sending email at 8 o'clock this morning, and it's still not.
It started to about 3 o'clock when everything got done. Contract is going home. We don't have a.
I'll send Adam to her office.
And yeah, we can do whatever now.
No, really, I think you need him at 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
Just before.
Go call.
Roll call.
Well, see, we're already disrupted,
Then
so.
leave at 2:30, and we can it's just like rushing the people. How they come to face it right there. And it got so-
Oh, yeah, it's on.
So it's from 2 to 3:30. It's a.
Well, see, it's already disrupted, because I'll send you
Yeah.
3.
I think there's a
You're
president,
already
vice
not
president.
on.
Treasurer until like. Oh, yeah, maybe that's not it. It doesn't matter. Go on.
I didn't.
Well, we usually, so we can go all.
Oh, sorry.
Less questions. If they're not paying attention.
The foundation, who wants to be vice president?
That's the way our government.
He can step up. Somebody else is vice president, Cory. Yeah. And then I can stay as treasurer. Unless somebody else wants.
Jessica's gonna be kind of board secretary.
Slate. That's the foundation without foundation.
Yeah, we only, now we're meeting only 4 times a year.
Right. It's not.
All it is look at, basically, give out money to get for gift cards and scholarships. That's a main job for that foundation. Members.
Before it's, well, it's fresh in our mind, maybe we'll just start with the foundation and do that. Well, actually, I'm not, you are, so go ahead.
Call the foundation meeting to order. Start with the roll call. Approval of district county representatives.
Can you guys, want to read off the names of friends?
For the new foundation.
Of the members?
The new members.
The new members, yeah.
Okay, so we have Mr. Fortson from Fort LaBeouf.
Right there.
We have Mr. Linder from Mill Creek. And your place is not here. And
Go ahead and give us the names here, because maybe she read, she's been,
Jennifer Shelton.
Ms. Sheldon.
okay. Been appointed, but she's not here tonight.
And then Ms. Lee's replacement starts in January also, Mr. Morvay. and General McLean has not been named yet. That will be part of the meeting.
So I make a motion to appoint said representative to the foundation.
I'll
Can I
second.
make that motion?
I'm okay with it.
We got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Mahoney.
Here.
Mr. Horton.
Here.
Mr. O'Slement.
Here,
Ms. Brink. Here. Ms. Sheldon. Mr. Linder.
Here.
Mr. Boyd.
Here.
Mr. Rainey.
Here.
Mr. Gilbert.
Here.
Ms. Lee. Here.
Okay, the first item on the new business, we have the minutes. Questions on the minutes or a motion?
Move we approve.
second, Dennis,
Who moved it?
Sam?
And vocalize it. Mr. Boyd.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we have a slate of officers. Myself for president, Corey for vice president, Sam staying on as treasurer, and Jessica as secretary. Any other nominations for the positions?
Who knows, wants to be treasurer, they can, just want to change the name of the bank. Keep it simple.
All right, we have the motion for approval.
approve, Dennis, wasn't it?
Second, Boyd.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Business reports, payments, invoices.
Pull that up and I'll-
Jessica, we had much business or things happening there?
No, not in the foundation, there has to be no difference.
Well, it was just kind of try to show the new members. I don't know how many people know what this foundation does. We got donated a certain amount of money and every year we send the foundation.
Michael, can you pull up that business report, please?
You want which one? You want out first?
I'm not sure which one.
Foundation, is-
Yeah.
I'm in the foundation. Which business foundation report?
we'll
would
just
you like?
show the.
Start with the treasurer's
Do you want
report.
the treasurer's report? Sure.
We've got, we had from the sale of the property for the new members there, the sale of the property a few years ago to the 911 center. So that money went into the foundation. We've invested that with Erie Community Foundation. Who has that, so we can pull like 7 or 8% a year. It's a couple $100,000 sitting in there. So we use that from there. Once Career Street moved out, we really don't have much activity in the foundation. Once in a while, there's a donation that comes in. Just had one come in from Scott Electric for some wiring work and heat or something in the whole building out here. So there's not a lot of activity there. We're gonna have a request here in a minute for some. And what are some of the other things? I'm trying to think of some.
We do scholarships.
Scholarship, thank you, in the spring, that's one main thing. So we've stopped having monthly meetings, we just do it about every quarter, I think, is what we're set up. It's not too much.
So the money from the land out here, can that money go in the foundation?
Well, it's into because we're doing the building project, specified that way, but yeah, we could have, I think.
Well, it was property, it was the sale of condemnation of property of the school district, so I don't think the school district the school district can gift it to the foundation at this time.
Now, but
Yeah.
that's what we did over there, right, at
I
that time?
don't recall that what we did, but we can do that.
Okay, any questions on the treasurer's report? Motion to approve that.
So,
We look at, the statement. You look at I just want to show so they kind of get the new numbers, of course, we're missing a couple acclimated when we're talking about this, So somebody asked them.
What was the value of the original investment?
what, that's what you listed one of these statements have listed, not this one.
In the ballpark of 200,000.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think done well with investments, considering we're up about 120,000 over original.
And that's with pulling some out, I think just about every year.
every year we pull out, either we get told out, we'll get the trade company, this is tell us how much we're allowed to pull out.
It could have
Pull out
been
between-
215 or something, I think,
We pull,
somewhere.
we pulled out between 4 and 8,000.
Guess the question, Jessica, is when we get to, Mr. Tarasovich's gonna ask for some money here soon. Can you show us which report, where's the bank balance of cash that we can pull out?
That would be the treasurer's report, the one we just saw. You do the beginning balances and then the receipts. You scroll up. You do the ending balance. There's the ending balance.
10,000.
That's just the one,
That's the first month, all the way,
Yes.
right, that's for 3 months.
oh, no. We have another amount. Where we get this money from, our investment.
Now's probably a good time to talk with you guys, it's your first time here, but you'll get a report every time you come up here for mileage. And you have the option on here to sign that it's accurate, and another one, if you'd like to donate it to the foundation, so that's another source of revenue. Turn our mileage over, so if you sign that, then the check goes right in there. If not, you'll have the check in your folder the next month for your mileage, so that's one revenue. I think there might be another thing or two.
When we used to have the machines on, when we had the adult education, that money all went into the foundation as well, but we haven't had those on, and we haven't had really an adult education here for a while.
So you can see the scholarships paid out. No, you have one investments, that one in
Yeah, I think when you scroll up, where's the balances? There.
Okay, there, that's what it's looking for. I want the big total, so they know it's not, we're spending some of that, but that's how much we just take the dividends.
And what's the second?
Any invoices?
Yeah, there should be invoices. You might,
Slide up.
they're called payables. Vehicles payable on that.
Which one do you want?
Check dates out.
Doesn't check these out yet. Yep. Let's see.
Scholarships.
What's the insurance?
Yeah, insurance. We have liability insurance, like,
Probably for
treasurer.
you and me, in case we run off with a bunch of money.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Which was sitting there too. I'm sorry about my poor eyesight, but you should see a check to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, because when we have our annual walk-a-thon, we put the money into the foundation and then deliver the check from there, or anybody that writes a check for that, it goes into the Erie County Foundation. So a lot of different activities that can happen in there. And stuff like that.
And I recall correctly, last time we spoke, we talked about the insurance and the need to adjust that since we didn't have the skill center liability. Did we ever explain it?
I'm not sure, it's just kind
Sure.
of restricted to there.
Yeah, they're also gonna seek a reimbursement if it was actually billed, if I remember right.
I thought Paul took care of that, but we'll take a look at that again, David.
Less than 1,000 now. I don't remember what it was before. It seems like it was a bit more now.
All right, now I get a motion.
So moved.
Second, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, last item is gift kids cards.
Yeah, every year, around this time, again, we have our community donate money to purchase kids, gift cards around Christmas time. And of course, we've already kind of started to do that. We raised, I think it was $800, so we're asking the foundation to match that $800, one-on-one, so we have about $1,600 to utilize for gift cards that we'd be giving out to the students. And we started this afternoon a little bit, we're gonna do that tomorrow, and that's our last day, so we'll make sure that we get those gift cards out to students. They're at $25 a card, and they're to Walmart, and we believe that Walmart's kind of spread out throughout our community, that kids can do that. And like I said, it's just a wonderful thing when you hand a kid a gift card, and usually myself and the administration will go about. Sometimes we just ask them, hey, what do you think you're going to use for this gift card? And all of a sudden, I'm going to help mom buy Christmas dinner, or I'm going to buy my mom a gift. They're not even thinking of themselves. They're usually for somebody else. So there's some very, very great stories that we get to have with this. So again, we appreciate your past support. So I'm just asking you for some support here.
That's for $1,000, right?
Well, up to $1,000, right? But right now, then we raised $800, so it'd be a matching $800.
I'd move that.
Second, yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any other business or amendments? Next meeting would be, 3 months? So-
March 24th.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we'll continue with our work session then, and go ahead and talk about the health and safety plan discussion here first.
Michael, if you could put the health and safety plan up there, please, I'd appreciate it. As Mike's getting that up there, I just want to give you some numbers here from the Erie County Tech School. Our nurse Kress is our acting co-pandemic coordinator with myself, and she does a wonderful job with data for me. Right now, as of today, as of 5/21, today, we had 58 active cases in our school for the year, which is pretty good. We're pretty excited that we can manage that. She did let me know before she left me today that we had 3 to maybe possible 4 cases just today, so that number could increase. But again, we still think we're managing this correctly. Again, when we talk about quarantine numbers for this week, we had 27 quarantined this week. The Department of Health mandated 21 of those, and again, 6 were proactive, meaning they were out there going to get tested to see if they could come back and those type of things. So this is the type of data that Sharon Kress and I review. We review this twice a week. So that conversation spills into the health and safety plan. We talked about this in August, and I'd like to just address it again. Mike, if you could go down into the first section, please. I did change some things, and I do highlight them in here for you when I do change them. But with the very first thing, keep going, Mike, please. Okay, and I just changed our deputy. She got married, so I changed her name to her married name now. So Ashley Roberts is our deputy. Go ahead, Michael, please. So that's a minor change there. And then here, I wanted to make sure that instructors should provide, again, instruction at least 6 feet. I want to make sure that my instructors heard that again. We didn't have that in this part of this health and safety plan, so I added that, so I made sure that was highlighted. But this is here where I want to focus on our attention. I do know, and Mr. Emmerich shared with me that the new county executive has plans for January 4th. I wasn't privy to that meeting. I think it was today, Rick? Yesterday, so I wasn't privy to that meeting, but I still would like to talk about what we voted on in August. You slide that up, Michael. I'd like to follow the CDC guidelines right now. If Erie County is in low or moderate, mask would be optional for students. That would be totally up to them. Of course, if we stay in the substantial or the high, where we're still in the high right now, I'd like to make masks mandatory. And the reason is, we've got 11 school districts coming from Erie County. If I can control this and keep this school operating, which we've, knock on wood, we have been able to do that, I think we're doing a great job of that. I really do. I've only had to close down one program and make them, and it happened to be just a half a session this year for one program, because we're really pods, and our kids are locked into these pods. And so again, if I keep them in their pods, I keep them safe and healthy. And like I said, the one was art and design for business. I had to close down the AM session for 2 days, and I got to roll into the weekend, so I picked up some days there, and they returned to their instruction on that Monday. So again, it allowed me to just close down the pods that are necessary. That's all we had to do this year so far, is one pod. So again, this is my recommendation, and we've talked about this before. Nothing else has changed in the plan, to be honest with you. So again, just for me to get this to the state as a discussion point. But that's just all I wanted to discuss with you, just to keep this the way we had it. But again, it's open for discussion, that's for sure.
I have a question.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, masking requirements, if they are masked, it's a 6-foot quarantine wall, right? If they were not masked, it would go down to 3 feet, I think.
If they're masked, it's 3 feet, okay? And then, of course, the other way, if they're unmasked, it'd be 6 feet or something.
You mean the other way around?
If
Yeah,
they're unmasked, if they're masked, students can interact at 3 feet. Okay, if they're unmasked, they have to be 6 feet.
Without quarantine.
Without quarantine?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah.
And we do have a few students here, of course, that have the chapter 15 or it's in their IEP. Those students there, we do make sure they're 6 feet away from their classmates, because that's just part of their IEP or their chapter 15, 504 plan. So,
Yeah, that just makes sense, try to keep kids in school as much as possible.
absolutely, absolutely. So,
One of the things we're doing and approved is the rapid test. Basically, if they pass the test, then they can leave school. So that part you're going to consider that.
our plan has not addressed testing here, because being with part-time CTC, we're dependent on the school districts. So whatever the school districts are doing, Nurse Crest and I are following that. So it would depend on David, which district and what they're following.
So your district, your approved the home district, you're approved.
That is correct. Yep, and we work together on that with through Nurse Crest and their pandemic coordinator. And again, we can revisit this again in January if you like, just to, as if things go through, great. You want to change your mind, we can revisit this monthly and stuff like that.
Wait till mid-January.
Yeah, well, that's what I said, but our meeting will be January 20 something, but we can revisit this come our next meeting.
When do it ends in title.
But Joe and I talked, Connie and I, and those districts down there, outside of Erie County have already gone. I think they've dropped that, so.
Last Wednesday or whatever.
Right, so I said that's kind of nice for us, because basically we're in the same geographical area. And so, let's see, it'll be a good trial to say, are they having to quarantine a lot more? What's gonna happen? That'll be interesting to see. I think that'll be a telltale for some of those districts that have moved ahead. Haven't been under the same mandate we've been under here. Let's see, but give some time. The other thing that'll be interesting to see over time is with this new variant, I'm hearing quite a bit of push on the CDC to change the length of the quarantine, especially for people that are already vaccinated, to go away from the 10 days, the 14 days or some of that to make that shorter. So it'll be interesting to see if it really is much milder, yet a lot more contagious and everybody's getting it. That'll be interesting to see what the future next couple of months hold. That we may have to address. You may never have another time you have less than 100 cases in Erie County, but yet it's like a cold. So in that case, then we may have to come back and do this numbers. I think you'll see a lot of movement across the board if we get to that point.
We don't use that word ever.
But,
You said you will never.
Well,
if it's like the cold or the flu, how are you gonna? I mean,
never going away.
well, Okay.
You don't want to hear that. I'm not afraid you're right. She's not gonna go away.
So that's pretty much a discussion that I wanted to have this evening about that.
Is everybody good with, when we get to that part of the agenda? Something like that? Rick, any other updates on, you want to tell us in regard to this? or-
No, I think Joe is spot on. I think this is where we stood as a group, from a PAC point of view since he said of this. I think given the one important point that Joe says is this is a hub of students from around the county. So I think it makes sense to, like Steve said, at least till mid-January to see where we stand. Still a lot of legal developments going on out there, not just Brent Davis, but the Supreme Court from PA still hasn't weighed in or issued their opinion on Title 28 or anything associated with that. So there's a lot of unanswered questions. So I think holding our ground right now is a smart move.
Similar, I guess, probably more for Tim, with the mandate for vaccinations was put on hold for employers greater than 100. And then it was brought back. Is the school under that?
No,
Or we're totally
Not-
exempt, so
it's
there's.
not applicable to the school district,
Okay.
nor this.
Well, how does it work? Like they have all their employees to get vaccinated. So did they make it mandatory for school districts to do the same thing or?
Well, the governor could make another order, I suppose, but his orders would only be good for, I think, 21 days. So, and then the legislature would have to act. I don't anticipate the governor doing it. I mean, the governor has the power to do it in regard to his own employees. But in regard to mandating vaccination for schools, he could
You
do
don't
it.
see that.
If he would declare an emergency order, like he did way back when, then he would mandate it, and then he would require everybody to get vaccinated, and that would be good for 21 days. And if the legislature doesn't act, then that order's done, so it's not really that very good. I don't anticipate that happening. Don't anticipate him entering an order in regard to mandating masks, so. I'm not sure that the Supreme Court, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court is actually gonna issue an opinion. They may not. They may just stick with their order affirming the Commonwealth Court's decision. So we may not see any more clarification in regard to that other than relying on what the Commonwealth Court says. It's unclear. It's unclear.
Any other discussion on this? If not, we're going to go into executive session. I have not forgotten about student spotlight. We're going to do that in our regular meeting because the students couldn't be here.
We can roll that into the principal's report if that works for you.
Sure.
You know.
Great, then you'll have to.
I'll do my best.
Let's see how it's on.
Yeah, we're going to go into executive session now. We're going to recess down the hall to the
Computer programming, yep.
So follow Joe.
Need a hand or?
Yeah.
Nice.
Keep
One
hot,
other,
I
I
suppose.
was gonna shoot out a video for actual here.
It's that.
Toolbox.
I haven't had plenty, so.
That's okay, I don't have change.
Later.
If I come back and these are cool, can I zap them?
Sure.
Yeah, we've got a fast microwave too. I just feel weird taking things over. No, I understand. Yeah, you'll be good.
It's really good.
I might want another piece of ice cream.
Yes.
I've been dieting for like 8 months.
Sorry now.
Well, there's plenty in there.
Yeah, sure, if you want to. Remember my office and everything. Bye.
So did, your work time go fairly well over there?
My work time?
Yeah, did you try to work in that office?
Yes. Yes, I did. It is so quiet over there. Like I closed the door because I think there's traffic.
Oh, yeah, put a little music on or something, just so you don't.
That's what I do. Like I have music and it is nice.
Yeah, I mean, having the windows there and the daylight,
Yeah.
maybe away from the stress of the building might be nice.
Right?
So I'm gonna start hanging out in the barn, get away from my office. Everybody seems to find me all the time.
They know where you're at.
They do. I didn't mean to make you go for a walk.
No, I wanted to kind of go down and grab this anyway, so, and then I went to the restroom. I said, got to her.
Did Tim finish your desk today?
Yep, he did,
Finish
yes.
your desk?
They finished my desk and they brought a whole bunch of boxes. He said I only have like 6 left. I didn't know I had them.
So I had this. We had a 2-year to the same person about board. So we had to fill it. So I'm trying to get. Yeah. So I had to sit in the car and wait until I could go.
All right, I have it.
Thanks for coming. I was looking, so like, Nicole's, I didn't think you were coming, I didn't know if you were gonna say that. And I wasn't sure, I was wondering.
All right, let me go grab this.
Wow. I'm just hoping she.
Yes. Thanks, Mike. Yes.
Yes. And the first. And my.
Oh, no, that's right. Tim.
Get your stuff together.
Tim, you want to know?
Let's go wait for Terry.
Yes.
Yeah. We're done with 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we just went to the.
I had a Motorola, they don't make.
I had a Motorola too that I don't like now.
It's 21 plus or something.
I had 8, 21.
It's just, I like it so far, it's just navigating around it. I had a Motorola for like 6 years.
We're ready to go.
Yeah, that's Carl. I didn't cook it.
Yeah.
Please tell him I said that.
Someone wants to discuss something.
There's a lot of letters on this.
Some of us know it's just there for you to read on your own, like, I don't get my report, it's just there. And it's less than a play it up.
Okay, and you can just read the technology report.
Okay, I think everybody's here. I'd like to call the joint operating committee for Tuesday, December 21st to order. And we'll start off with a moment of reflection. Thank you, and we'll have the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have new members from Fort Buck, Dennis Borton, from Iroquois, Jennifer Sheldon, Mill Creek, Michael Linder, Wattsburg, Stephen Murray, and General McLean to be announced at a future time. Entertain a motion to approve the new district appointed committee members. Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? At this point, I ask for a roll call, please.
Mr. Mahoney.
Here.
Mr. Gordon.
Here.
Mr. Lozano.
Here.
Ms. Green. Here. Mrs. Sheldon. Mr. Linder.
Here.
Mr. Boyd.
Here.
Mr. Ring.
Here.
Mr. Gilbert.
Here.
Ms. Lee. Here.
Thank you. Entertain nominations for the position of chairperson.
Nominate Sam Ring.
Second.
Any other nominations? Motion to close nominations?
Motion.
Boyd. All those in favor of closing nominations?
Aye.
Aye. All those in favor of Mr. Ring as chairperson?
Aye. You didn't have time to refuse.
Everybody give a choice.
That was unanimous. Thank you very much. Mr. Ring.
Snooze, you lose.
Well, thank you very much. It's been so much fun.
Well, we want to at least finish up negotiations.
So vice chairperson election, we don't have a, Mr. Placido was our vice chair, so we need someone new to be nominated. Mr. Mahoney told me that he was willing if somebody would take the treasurer's spot. Just FYI. Since they're treasurer, usually we do that in like June or July, but we could do it early.
Sam is staring everyone else down. One by the way. Trust.
Well, we do need a nomination for vice president, chairperson. So we need somebody to step up and make a nomination. Otherwise, we're going to sit here all night.
I'll nominate Mr. Boyd.
I'll second it, whatever.
Any other nominations? I'm guessing not. So,
You're welcome, everyone. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Would somebody like to close nominations?
So moved.
Terry,
I'll second it, Dennis.
Dennis, second. Any discussion on that, right? So all those in favor of Mr. Boyd as vice chairperson?
But you got to vote on the closing nomination.
Well, then, let's close nominations. All those in favor of closing nominations?
Aye.
Opposed? And then now, all those in favor of Mr. Boyd, for vice chairperson, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Thank you. And then we have board secretary election. And we're looking for a nomination for Jessica. Granica, yes, okay.
I nominate Jessica.
I second.
And do we need to close nominations for this also?
Sure.
Okay, is there a motion to close?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor of closing nominations?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. All those in favor of Jessica as our new board secretary? Aye. Opposed? Congratulations. Kat, congratulations. She successfully handed that off. But we didn't get a chance earlier. We've introduced, well, we have 2 new board members here, right, tonight? But would you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you want to tell us? And of course, what district you're from.
My name is Mike Winder. I am from Mill Creek School District. I currently am the Vice President for the Mill Creek Board and Finance and Operations Chair. Glad to be here. Come from a family of carpenters, so vocational school is near and dear to my heart. When we want to select keep a family, we end up in the church.
Well, welcome. Thank you.
Jenny Fortin, I'm Fort Hill School Board. It's my first term there. Been real involved in the school district for years, so president of the foundation. So, I'm really excited. Mr. Emmerich asked if I'd be interested in being part of this. And I have my son here, that's a junior, so program. No doubt. So,
Excellent. Very good, welcome, very much, thank you. Okay, amendment approval, we have 2 things we need to add to the agenda, and Tim, just tell me if there's anything special we do. We haven't had public comment yet, so I think if we add those now, we're okay, is that correct?
Well, sure, let's review what they are and why we need to add them to the.
Okay, we haven't noticed that teacher can be stepping away for a little bit, so we need to appoint a long-term sub.
Yes. Yeah, we have a teacher who's gonna go out on medical leave, so we'd like to approve somebody onto our sub list, the Erie County Technical School sub list. That's the first one.
And then the second one is we have an amendment to the lease with the
Erie
Erie Community College. So those are the 2 items to add to the agenda. And where are we gonna add them so we don't miss them when we get to that? Would they both,
New business.
But yeah, put them under new business.
we put both there? Because we have administrative services and human resources, we probably should put the long-term sub there. So let's do that as G, people, each long-term sub. And under new business, actually I under old business, because it's an existing lease that we have, can we put it under that?
Sure, it's an amendment.
Yep, it's I, old business, sub-point there, amendment to the lease. College lease. Okay, so we'll ask for a motion to add those, is all we're doing now, we're not approving it.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. All right, thank you. Meeting minutes now. 10:28.
Motion approved. Second, Boyd.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, student spotlight. You want to do it now or you want to do it later?
We can do it now.
Okay, go for it.
Fantastic. So, unfortunately, our students for Student Spotlight were not able to be present today. The good reason behind that is because they all got tied up with jobs related to culinary arts. And that's who we were gonna feature tonight, was the culinary arts students. Fortunately, we were all able to sample some of their work. They wanted to brag about it. Everything that they did for this meal was from scratch. All of the preparation for the meat and everything like that. So this was just one of their meals that they prepared today. They also did an in-house luncheon for our instructional staff. Last weekend, they prepared for, I think, somewhere around 200 guests for a wedding. So they have been busy, to say the least. The 3 students that were going to be presenting tonight were Madeline Dietz from Fairview in 11th grade. She works at Mad Mex. Devin Pitts from Fairview in 10th grade. And Bryn Soleil, if I pronounced that correctly, from Endell, 11th grade. And she was recently promoted to manager of Smoky Bones. So they were excited to do a presentation, but again, they kind of got tied up with their jobs, and we can't help but support that, but fortunately, they still had us.
That's our appreciation. Is there?
And everything is delicious.
Do that
Thank you.
each month?
We plan on, David, having them do, they're really eager to do this. So again, we're gonna have our students, as long as they wanna do this, we're gonna continue to do that.
Because we have a contract today, right? So we able to.
We're okay with our contract, yeah, we're okay with, that's a cooperative contract for their buying power actually, so we're fine.
We're gonna do that.
Thank you. Q1 exemplary students. Those are all, they're listed with the district and, so for the new members, you can look on your district and see those. And then, students of the month.
Same thing.
Those were also listed.
Okay, all listed there. Excellent. So that takes us to guest and public comment. We'll start, does anyone like to address the board? All right, we do have a Heary's Choice letter. Who's gonna handle that?
We just wanted to share, Representative Mirsky sent me a note and just congratulating us on our choice award. And again, we're very excited that they have chosen us again. I think it's now 9 years straight, but again, it's just nice to get Representative Mirsky to send us a letter.
And I have a little thank you note from Amy Nicolo. Thank you. I want to say that differently, but it just says thank you for the appreciation gift card. Been a great deal to me to be recognized. So the appreciation. Joe started doing a little monthly. Is it?
We do an employee of the month, and of course, we recognize that employee through the administration. And Mr. Ring's been so kind also to recognize them through the JOC with a gift card. So.
It's coming out of my pocket, not yours. Don't worry about it. It's not very big though. I choose where they get it from.
That's right.
I don't pay for it. Anyways. All right. Important items coming to ECTS. Take us to operations. Got new business. We have a RCTC lease agreement that was attached there. Got the approved program evaluation correction approval. The calendar for next year is there, and just for, we come up with a calendar here, we don't, but administration does. I think working with the superintendents, so then all the districts have that, and then everybody takes and tweaks it to their liking, but at least it all starts with similar start dates and end dates and all that. So that's there for your approval. Joint operating committee meetings for 22 are there, the listing, which if there's no changes to that here tonight, that'll be again the 4th Thursday except for July. We don't have one in July or November, and then in December is the 2nd and 3rd Tuesday.
Pull up the calendar, I thought it was listed. Pull up the calendar.
The committee, our
Yeah,
meetings,
yeah.
yeah. Okay.
I thought, I was trying to.
What's November meeting was?
Stopped doing November meeting because it had to be a Tuesday because the 4th Thursday was Thanksgiving.
Now like I said, we've had some emergency meetings in July before, something like November we were discussing possibly, but very few and far between. So.
Well, tell about what April is, because that's when we have new students.
Yeah, April, we're hoping, again, we're back to normal in our mentality. In April, we'll have our dinner with faculty event. And again, so we kind of bumped that meeting a little bit later and asked you to come. It would be where the new students are coming to enjoy a dinner with their faculty in their classrooms and stuff. And again, it's usually, a sub sandwich and some macaroni that you can partake in, but you can go sit with them. So that's why it's a little different time than for that. Okay.
I just wanted to highlight that.
And we've also, in this section, we have our health and safety plan we talked about earlier. We also have requested donate the surplus unused technology equipment to the French Creek Council, Boy Scout of America. We've got a visa limit increase for, I think, 2 different labs, if I remember. And then we have in the old business section, the amendment to the community college lease. Do you want to talk about
Yeah, just real quick, the amendment, the first lease, they didn't ask for to lease the facilities in January and February. And then now they plan on, they'd like to use it. So again, we're amending that. We're also planning on maybe utilizing our welding lab come July. And then they're looking to use our old wood shop where we had our alternative ed for maybe some storage there. So again, I incorporated all that into a lease and for them and approved it, and I think, Tim reviewed that for me, I think, Tim, am I correct? Yeah,
And we bumped the rent and, got rid of the conference room.
yes, yeah, because we're moving over to our, the business office, moving over to the skill center, because they're gonna be taking care of the renovation over here. I had to remove the conference room, because that's where Jessica's new office is now, so. Just
You
my.
gave up money for your office. So if everybody's okay with that, for the new members, what we've done with that is, if nobody has any issues, want to separate anything, we'll take one motion for everything in this section. That's what we do, so. then just
I
talk
just have one question about the start of the school year calendar. Have we considered the construction and do we need to push that? And I know
For next year's calendar, right now, when I've talked to Chris Coughlin and all that, they're gonna make a big push for this summer to make sure that all our labs in the rear, which are mostly our hard labs, will be renovated and ready to go for the beginning of the school year, which I've already given them the date. Michael, we can play with that as the year comes on, for ourselves, but right now, Chris told me that with their plans, that we would be all set for the majority of the labs in the back. So, again, my concern is that the new, because of the plans changing so much, the new cafeteria and kitchen area will not be prepared yet. That's why we're gonna keep, this area open here for ourselves. So,
The original intent was to demolish this because you had the new area, so that won't be ready by fall. So they've changed how they're doing it, so they're leaving this alone for now until they can be assured of all the new equipment coming in. So they changed up the hard labs, the only time to do that summertime. So they're pretty sure they can be done with what needs to be done inside those, for the most part. There might be some after hours.
I know a lot of districts try to mirror the tech school's calendar, but the tech school's gonna change when they get midsummer, realize they need an extra week. They might put the rest of the districts in a bind. So I guess that answers the question. It better be proactive now and build an extra week into the summer schedule, not knowing what the spring and winter is gonna look like, or you play it hard and.
I guess I'd ask if I could play it by ear up into, a few months and see how this starts here. And then Chris and I talk and bring it to this pack and let them know the situation, and stuff, when we meet monthly with the pack. So again, I'll, just go by that for the most part.
You went down, the superintendent's basically making this calendar for us, and we just vote, we take one. That's right, is that?
Yeah, actually,
Superintendent actually makes this calendar.
yeah, actually, the calendar made, this year was, driven by, Kelly Hess from Harbor Creek and of course, Gerard, Donna Miller. And again, what I did is I take their calendar and if I believe I've got to tweak it a little bit, I will. This year I did absolutely nothing to it. I agreed that last year I just took one in service day off the front end of it and stuff. But again, this has actually been presented by those two and I've just adopted it. And again, the only discussion when we presented that to the PAC was Northeast. I was questioning our spring break next year and stuff. But again, other than that, superintendents all drove this calendar.
If there were a couple labs that weren't ready, you just have to have alternative idea. There's gonna be some extra room here, with additional that for theory, they might just be in theory for the first week, if they can't, for some reason, get in the lab. But I don't think you would anticipate changing the school calendar for that.
I believe we're going to be able to accommodate our students, especially the hard labs are going to be functional right now. The soft labs, we would have the ability to move them around and computers around and support them if we have to.
Any other question on that? If not, I'll entertain a motion for that section.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Financial items. Get the business manager's report. Want to give us anything?
I don't have anything new. I can read the balances. You can
You would do that, and then can you do one more thing? Can you talk about the construction cost summary? I saw that on there, I thought that was good.
Yes,
So after your balances, if you want to address that.
okay. The general fund balance as of November 30th, 2021 was $1,033,104.72. The piece lab and investments was $735,160.70. Erie Bank, $926,540.88. And the student activity fund was $29,089.58.
Also, can you, in addition to the construction, can you tell us, can you show us on there where our district contributions are coming in? Because you should have received some of those, right?
I received all of them.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I received all of them for the first quarter. I don't have a report that shows you that the schedule, like I did provide you
Right.
the schedule. And for the first quarter, because we're gonna bill them every quarter, and I did get all the payments from every district. Nobody's outstanding. So the report I show is just the expenses, what the cost of the renovation is, and if that one's not, I'm sorry. If I were my,
You need me to scroll this somewhere?
no, it's a different report.
Okay.
It's called renovation summary.
All right.
Back to
Construction
Is it-
cost.
Construction.
Yeah, a little bit further.
Gee,
Right there.
There.
Roll that up as big as you can.
So the cost, what was awarded, and the expenses we have incurred so far, and the
That
balance.
would be too much.
I didn't know what other detail you guys wanted me to show on the next one.
I just found it was nice, you know, with the different categories that we approved, the contingency and all that, that's all in there. So you'll see, like, there was 2,141 attributed to contingency on there. I found that interesting, just that, you can see the building permits, remember, there was a lot of questions on that. If we could pay VIU, if we didn't, as long as, I think, it's zoning. Rick worked with Southern Township and got them to waive that. So that's about what VIU was, so it looks like we had to pay that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's finished, so that was all part of the contingency, so move that out of there, so. That'll be, so you'll keep that updated for us every month, and then we'll have that, okay? What fund are we using here when the districts pay their money in and you're writing those checks out for different things? Where is that running through?
It's Fund 31, the capital projects fund.
Excellent. That takes care of your treasury report also. Anybody want to see any of those other reports or anything? Not to entertain H there.
Just a quick, go back one second. So the items like roofing that have.
I have no idea which one that was. I'll just open it again.
Is there nothing budgeted for that? Like you got roofing and.
I'll bet that's all under general contractor and it hasn't been split yet. Maybe, will you split that and give more detail later or are you gonna keep it?
I can look at the contracts and see what was specifically.
Or take it out, I mean, either one, just to have the dash.
What, you know what those are for? In the contract, the food service equipment, there was some deducts and some adds that we didn't do. So that's for the different ads. The roofing, remember, it was one mill or the other mill. And then I think there was something in for abatement so those are potential categories that could have been used based on the contract. I thought that really when I looked at that today.
Right, so let's just take them off.
And I can hide them, I can just hide them, and if we do get anything.
If something comes up, then they'll show up.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments on that? Entertain a motion?
So
Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, administrative services and human resources. We really, we got your report, and then we've got, I didn't approve that. Is it the volume? I just did all of mine. That last one was for. Yeah.
Yes.
So on 10 there, we've added G, the long-term sub. You want to give us the details for that?
Yeah, we have an instructor that's going to be going out on surgery, having some surgery that just popped up. And so therefore, we want to hire one of our instructional aides with the new protocol that the governor's allowed. She's going to be a wonderful replacement for us because as everybody knows here, finding subs is very difficult. So with that being said, we want to add her to our sub list, and then she'll work that AM session, and then she'll go to her normal job for a PM session. So again, just a nice way to make sure we have consistency with this program. So,
Probably should identify the person.
I'm sorry, Tim.
Probably should identify who that is.
Okay, and the instructional aide who we're gonna hire is Jane Boyd, B-O-Y-D.
She's the long-term sub.
She's long-term sub, Tim, yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah, sorry.
And then I saw increase for the substitute pay. That's the other part here. And then there's a policy review. Anything anybody needs to put on the policy review? Any questions? There's lots of those. This is a first reading of, correct? So we'll do a second reading next month. So you've got a month to go through about 800 different clicks there. Read them all.
Right.
What Kat does is that when as these new policies and they come up, we'll review them together, and again, we try to get them out to you timely. We did a poor job of that prior to Kat's coming on here, so she's done a great job of keeping us updated with making sure they're, reviewed and stuff.
Most of it's very minor, and it's if the law changes something or so. Review those in your spare time.
Or something.
Yes, you want to pull that, D, can you pull that up? It's been up to from 105 to 125.
Yes, just to talk about this, again, we're having a tough time. We actually were very proactive with the 105 a few years ago. We're just not getting subs in here, so we're going up, we'd like to go up to 125. And I know I was teasing Dr. Roberts, they went up to 225. And I know at our last PAC meeting, we all said, Ian, it's tough to compete against you. And it is true, again, but we just want to be a little more proactive because it's sure tough to get somebody in this building. So again, we're hoping with a little bit of an increase here that we might attract some other candidates to come here. So Kelly Service has given us 3 new names recently. So again, we're hoping that we can get them in the building and support us.
So do we have a kind of situation where we can't get a sub, and what's our plan B?
Well, what we do is use our support staff, like I said, Lisa Scalise, Sandy Carr, our math teacher, guidance counselor, we use our support staff to go in there.
So they go into the classroom, we're not moving into a common space or.
Yes, they go into the lab and it's all theory work when they're in there, yeah.
You mean 125 is enough?
Right now, the last time I took a poll of, where people are going, 125, I thought, I don't know where Rick's at or anything like that. Last time the superintendents met before Ian's announcement on that, I thought we were going to be competitive with that. Rick, I don't know where Fort Buff's at on their
We're actually at 85 to start, and we're up to 95 for 2 weeks of service, and then there is some discretionary appointments I can do at 150 for like long-term subs.
And with our long-term subs, we are pretty generous here. If I have a long-term sub in for it, and this long-term sub that we just announced, they're going to follow our protocol with this sub right here. But the long-term sub for auto body, he's been in there for a semester now. So again, we are pretty generous with that type of thing because they are now, he's a professional in the auto body field. So we want to recognize that. Plus he's doing the paperwork now, correcting papers and planning and all that stuff. So again, we do adjust that if we have to for long-term subs.
I know it's not Tim's forte necessarily, but I know it's homeschools, we after 30 days or 45 days, we have to jump up and we can't pay the daily rate, we have to pay the regular.
Yeah, it depends on your collective bargaining agreement and.
Was that what it, okay.
What the ramifications are for keeping the same person in your position for 45 days.
So that's not a code thing, that's a,
Not necessarily a code.
okay.
It's a collective bargaining.
In our dilemma
Avoid
here,
grievance.
and I'm sorry, if I interrupt, but our dilemma here has been the fact that our teachers that are out have told us they're gonna be back at a certain date, and then they give us an extension from their doctor. So again, we're not able to really honestly look at our sub and say, hey, this is what we'd like to, but Mr. Blasi, who's been in, he's been wonderful, and he's been doing a great job for us. And again, we're up front with him. I know we're gonna need him for some time, because Kat just got information from the teacher that's out. So we're gonna have to extend that a little more. So it's kind of,
He came from Erie, right?
Mr. Blasi was working in Erie, then he recently left Erie and went to General GE Lab Tech, got laid off, and now he's back with us, so it's nice.
He's really good, he fixed my kid's car.
Yeah, he's very good.
Anybody want to see any other detail there? If not, entertain K now, approval of administrative services and human resource section of the agenda.
So much.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Superintendent's report.
Yeah, I don't have anything extensive, Sam, other than on behalf of the superintendents, I want to thank you guys for your service to this particular building and this community of students. Joe's transition has been spectacular. We've been very happy and working together, making some good things happen. Although I know we have some challenges, just like everybody, nothing's been more challenging, I think, or taxing for public education than the things we're experiencing now. So thank you for your service. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Director's report.
Again, I appreciate you looking at some of the supplemental reports. I did ask the clerk of records, Rob Estock, to give us our monthly report, so that's in the supplemental material. But as you can see, the renovation has changed a little bit. We're going to be starting out front here with the major renovations, but we also allowed them to start taking out some of the hallway ceiling tiles. And Dell's very, very much involved, and I appreciate Dell's support in that and keeping me abreast. Again, the comprehensive local needs assessment, we had a meeting here with stakeholders. And again, we had probably about 18 to 20 stakeholders here. This comprehensive local needs assessment is something we have to do every 2 years, because that's the lead-in for the Perkins grant. And again, right now, after that meeting, Sandy Carr's been a big help to me, and the administrative staff, I'm starting to type that information into the PD application to get prepared for that. That's my report, unless you have any other questions.
I'd like, have this crazy idea
Okay.
that, I haven't done any background work on this yet. I came from Ashtabula County. They have, it's still folk tech over there, I think, but, I don't know what the differences are, but they have a program over there that is full. And I'm curious on how it works and if it's something that we can implement here, especially with students moving from lab to lab. The program is a 1-year program at the beginning. It's more of an intro to all the labs. And I personally know some people over there that have tried, and they're gonna get into it. Next year, they've already been approved, but they have not been approved. I don't know how it works, but I'd like, if we can do some investigative work to find out how it works, what it looks like. I just think with technical education, there's so many of our labs that are similar anyways, that some students just aren't gonna know. If there's a way that we could do a 1-year, first year, where then they would transition their second year, would be into a program that, I know it's not gonna give them 3 years in one lab, but a lot of our students are doing 3 years anyways.
They have to at least get 2, so, right. So you said Ashtabula, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's only Jefferson.
Yep.
Well, normally we start 10 here. I don't know what they do there. That could be.
have to cut the program.
Right.
I was just thinking the same thing.
It's the off-year program, we just got.
We've got buses coming out here anyways. Probably most of our districts have rooms.
Be elected by.
Sam, if I may, we actually had talked about this as a pack on a number of occasions. And there are a number of superintendents who are very interested, at least some sort of exploratory opportunity.
Yeah.
Not only is getting kids interested in the program, but in terms of increased enrollment for our programs here, which is always something we're looking So I'm happy to bring that up at our next meeting again. I think the major obstacle for us is the scheduling part of it. Not that we can't bring kids here, it's just where we fit that into their schedules.
Sure.
Early on in their high school careers. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting topic for sure.
Part of our problem here has been location.
Yeah.
We're fixing some of that now. We're gonna have some extra space. So,
I think the neat thing is that we can sure investigate it. I do know that one of the PAC meetings, Donna, when we introduced our youth program of sports therapy and exercise science, Donna Miller told me that she had a similar elective at Girard. She was gonna make that elective be a 9th grade elective. So therefore, those students, if they liked it, knew they could come here to finish up. Yeah, so again, that's something that's a PAC, and we can discuss more of the aligning 9th grade electives to maybe be aligned to us.
Another option might be a summer. I came here as a student in summer, I did 2 or 3 programs for 2 weeks at a time, I think. So it could be just as our home schools do summer programs for electives, we did gym and a couple other things. We did something that's done like that in summer. I think it's a way to try it without committing a whole year or committing 2 years each time.
We can investigate that too, David. We can.
great, thank you. Solicitors report.
Nothing new to report. Wish everyone happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Principals report.
So in addition to my regular report, I wanted to highlight a couple things that have been going on recently, just some extra festivities. A lot of this is stemmed from our NTHS, National Technical Honor Society students. If you look to your left when you came in, you see a doghouse style building, and our goal has been to fill that up with cereal to donate. We don't have the house full yet, but we're hoping to on our last day tomorrow, so we've been collecting cereal boxes. Additionally, we had a gingerbread house contest, a door decorating contest. The culinary arts student did what they called a baking fest. It was a fundraiser where they had hot cocoa and cookies and different things like that. Didn't quite look the way that we wanted to because of COVID restrictions and things like that. And then we also had a clothing drive. Right now the focus is on winter coats and apparel, but we want to make that a year-round thing for just students who need a pair of work boots, jeans, a t-shirt, whatever the case may be, to accommodate our students. So we've got a lot of wonderful things going on.
Thank you.
Could you scroll up on it?
Yep.
Scroll up a little bit. The open house, I want to mention, I was at the break there. I came out and I accompanied their director and their principal. They were at the front door. I've been coming every year since I've been on board with the open house. And it's very interesting if you don't get to come here. So, and it was, like I was mentioning, it was the biggest crowd I thought was there. And it went very smoothly, and I was up front helping a little bit. We have the new addition out there, and people were looking at it, and I was making sure they knew this was a remodel, and not that they were trying to figure out how to get around here. And I sure appreciate the principal and director for taking extra help for that, and an excellent job. And it was very, very crowded. So I really thank you for that. It was really well looked at it.
I was finishing up a negotiating session. Okay, there was a lot of people here, right?
It was the whole time, the whole entire time.
It's bigger.
We had a beautiful night, and again, I'm attributing it to that these people weren't able to come last year, and they just drove an interest that I think a lot of people were excited about. So again, those are the only 2 things I could think of, but boy, it was a beautiful evening. And again, not having it the year before, I think people were excited to get back into our schools.
Great. Yeah, like you said, some of the former students came, visit their teachers and stuff like that, so they have the opportunity to come back. They're working and things. That was really 4:30 to 6:30, I think, wasn't it? Of course, it's kind of dark there anyway, so it wasn't. You weren't missing out the lawnmower, you weren't missing those kind of lawnmowers.
Right.
Okay, approval of report section of the agenda.
Second.
Frank? Any discussion, questions for anybody? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries, then you get your supplemental reports. If you look down through, a lot of those are, we keep attendance here for JOC members. But there is that new one there, M, which is the renovation report from our clerk of the works. That's there. Which Mr. Joseph mentioned before. Doesn't look like we have any statute-related business to approve. Anything else for the good of the order? Motion to adjourn accepted. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Our next meeting date is January 4th, Thursday, whatever that was, that you approved earlier. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. We stay
There are takeout boxes, if anybody would like to take some food home, so.
You want to don't let it get thrown out. No.